Hey kids, it's Arp. This is the ArpCast, somewhat live from the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains in eastern Tennessee. Today we talk about different things, weird people, and maybe unicorns and rainbows. We read poetry and short stories too. Most of all, we keep it real. This is the ArpCast, starting now.
Welcome to ArpCast number 64, Wednesday, March 21, 2018. It's the midweek program. Midweek, we're there. Almost there. You can feel it. The blood's rushing through your veins. The weekend. I always say, well, that's followed by another Monday, but that's me. That's me. It's the first full day of spring here in the Tennessee Valley, East Tennessee, Knox Vegas, K-Town. That's right. That's right. Bitter cold for late March. For late March, it's not bitter cold generally, but for late March, it's cold. It's cold. It's dark. It's gray. It's been spitting snow all day long. It's just been an awkward day. And I was inside all of it, except for when I had to get in the car and come home and go to work and that sort of thing. Look, if you like or love what you hear on the program, I'd love for you to share it. There's no obligation. And there's no guarantees with the program that you're going to like it, and that's fine. But if you love what you hear, I'd love for you to share it. And I thank you for your patronage. So, the letter. The art of letter writing. And I know you're going to see the title, and it's grammatically wrong. I think it's two different words, but you know what? I don't care. I like it as one, letter writing, together. So, there's an art to it. I haven't mastered it, but I had an opportunity over the weekend to write a letter to someone, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I believe this individual enjoyed receiving it and reading it. It was just a great experience. So there's the letter, and I have horrible penmanship, horrible, but my brother loves ink pens, the old style fountain pens. And when you put the two together, when you put pen to paper, I think something magical happens. I think it draws out with every bead of ink that makes its way onto paper. It draws something out of the human being that I think our modern era just doesn't accomplish. It doesn't draw out the yolk, the marrow of what's deep inside of you, something you want to get off your chest. So why would we even entertain this? Why would we do this? And I'm not suggesting. I've got poor penmanship, and we'll get to some of this at the end of the program. I've got poor penmanship, and so sitting down and writing something with an ink pen is probably not for all of us. But there's a reason that you put pen to paper, fingers to the keyboard, and you write. It's a duty. I think it's a duty that we all have. Several reasons why. Look, we live in a mechanized, electronified, and that's probably not a word, world. And there are some elements that we need to invoke that are anti-digital. Just for a moment. An afternoon or a late evening. Stop all this craziness. Listen to a radio program, be it this one or some other program. It's all very mechanized. We talk about digital zeros and one, and we're brought up thinking this way. And I think that there's something very wonderful, and my dad says this all the time, about the analog world. Something very precious about it. And I think letter writing is an element of that. Is a leftover, is a gift of that analog world. I think it's more substantial. A letter. You get a letter, right? In the mail. Oh my gosh. Somehow we've stepped back. We're devolving somehow if we were to step out and write a letter. It's just more substantial than an email or text or some sort of chat notification. You sit down, you have space, a cup of tea, a glass of wine, a cup of coffee, whatever it might be. It gives you an opportunity to study and get down. Well, just get down. Meaning and expressiveness and abundance, right? There's not a limit. With an email, it's like you got to keep it, it's got to be somewhat businesslike. We've all written long emails. I've written some. But a letter's different. It goes beyond this concept of scarcity and, gosh, it's too much. Now, again, there's an art to it. So when you write, there's an art to it, right? There's the language and the meaning and the story or the concept that you're trying to get across to that other person or persons, organization, whatever it might be. At the end of the day, though, it's a physical, emotional, intellectual deposit with that party. Good or bad. You may be writing a sort of very passionate, very argumentative letter. A lot of debate. A lot of brawn. Might be contentious. But that's okay. But you're making that deposit. And I think it would be interesting for those of you listening to the program, and even for myself, to go and count the number of letters that you have from someone that you've held on to, or that you've written in the last 5 or 10 years. Most of the people listening to the program, about my age, maybe younger, probably younger. So, this physical, emotional, intellectual deposit, the physics of it, you write or you type it out. Emotional, it's taken something from you. Like I said at the beginning, that pen bleeding across the paper, tearing through the fibers of that bonded document. It's drawing it out of you. And there's an intellectual deposit. You've got to think through. There's something about sitting down doing an email. Not that you're not thinking, not that you're not planning and putting it together. There's just something so finite about it. It's great in the business world. Absolutely. And, text and chat and all that, it's gotten crazy. So here's the challenge. It's 2 challenges. One to you, one to me. This weekend, in the time that's coming up here in the next several days, write a letter to someone. Friend, family member. Think about someone in a generation that's gone by. Write a letter. If they got a letter in the mail, oh my gosh. And you know what I'll do? I'm going to write a letter and I'm going to handwrite it by this weekend. That's what I'm going to do. Letter writing. Try it out.
Well, kids, you know who this is. It's ARP, damn it. You have been listening to the ArpCast, a sensational, fact-filled experience meant to change the world. I'm happy you stopped by. Our sponsors, those greedy, wily bastards, thank you too. Make sure to write. This has been the ArpCast. I'm out.